What's up? Oh, today's rest day. I was contemplating filming or not. I should have anyways, but not a lot's going on today. No helping out at the ranch. So today's video, rest day and Arnold predictions. If you guys aren't subscribed, then you're new here and you're here for my Arnold predictions. What's up? I've never competed in a bodybuilding show. I hope to in the future. I'm just a dude that used to be obese, lost weight, and now I'm in the middle of a series called the Shredathon. I just came up with that randomly. But yeah, this is like the middle of it. So if you guys want to subscribe and follow along with that, it'd be much obliged. And yeah, so today, other than the predictions, rode my bike this morning. We ride our bike every 40 minutes. Did that, and now I'm going to go on a walk/run. Well, not a run, but a jog. I'm trying to, I don't like running and I don't like jogging. But I do like to do it every once in a while. Just so if an apocalypse happens or something, I'm not dead.
We gotta go through them. Just stay together, keep moving, and don't get bit. Go! Are you getting this?
Yeah, what is up?
Ain't that some shit?
These are some racist motherfucking zombies.
Why would you even lock the door? I mean, the window's broken and...
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, I really don't have any good things or accomplishments on why I am doing Arnold predictions, but this is going to be a weird connection. And growing up in high school, I'd do FFA and 4-H and show pigs since middle school until I graduated. Guys, just take a wild guess on how you judge pigs and how you compare pigs to one another. The same as bodybuilding. That's why I know a lot about comparisons of bodybuilders, because I was technically already looking at that shit and feeding and training pigs for that type of stuff. And then I started watching Chris Bumstead, and he really inspired me. When I was an overweight power lifter, football player, I started watching him when he won his third Olympia in high school. And ever since, I've been obsessed with bodybuilding, and that's all I wanted to do and watch. I have other things I want to do, but you get the gist. So, jog went pretty good. Halfway through, I just started walking, but I can feel my endurance getting up there. It's just my asthma's terrible. But yeah, if you guys have been watching, I don't want to get anyone in trouble or point out anything. Let's say hypothetical, I may or not have been attacked in my small town, or keep getting debated because I'm turning Catholic and because I will be Catholic. Let's say that's a hypothetical that's been happening. That would really suck if I start walking in public on my walks by these people and holding this around. That's why I like wearing my rosary, not as a decoration, but to show people that I'm a Christian man and you're not going to attack my faith. There's been several saints that have got killed because of it, and I will happily be one and show my faith. Anyways, now I am gonna go box for like 20 to 30 minutes on a heavy bag, and then I will see you guys at my office, the Packer Man Cave, and we will get into the Arnold predictions. Also, keep in mind if you're new here, I'm only doing top 10 classic and top 10 open. I'm also hitting abs and some calves afterwards, and then gonna do some flexibility yoga type stretches for the joints and the muscles, because obviously we train and push hard, but also you gotta be smart with it. And that chest and shoulder day, for example, I didn't really hit it in a smart way in terms of shoulder joints, but yeah, but I feel like it was good because I felt my shoulder muscles sore as well, which I haven't felt since high school. So sorry for the runny nose. It's like 50 degrees out and I got allergies. I will say I'm getting definitely leaner and flatter, and like I'm excited to see what I weigh in at on Monday, because like my skin looks like way healthier than it did when I started this series, because not this series, because this video is the predictions, but when I started the shred-a-thon thing, I kid you not, I was like maybe 250 pounds or something, just like gained a bunch of fat from doing night shift works, and like just gave up on dieting and only would work out just to work out, and like I honestly had nothing driving me when I was working. And like if you go to the first video or whatever to now, my skin and my face and my acne, like everything, well, I never really had a lot of acne, but I'm looking like a lot healthier than when I started, and I'm just very grateful for that, and I'm grateful that I am in the position I am in life. But yeah, I'm gonna shower and we're gonna do the predictions. What's up? So we are ready for the Arnold predictions. So I don't have my predictions down yet. I figured I'd do them while looking at these photos on my laptop right here. Because I'm Catholic and because it's Lent right now, I don't have social media. The only thing I have is YouTube, and all I do is watch YouTube if I need social media, and that's it. So all these screenshots, I don't have every single person from top 10 and open and in classic. So just know I've only done one prediction video before, and that was the Olympia one, and I absolutely butchered it. I had Nick winning that, and he only got 6, so that wasn't fun. So this will kind of be almost like a podcast, because I'm going to look at each photo, and the photos I'm looking at, I will edit right here or something, by a photo of Lee Priest and Jay Cutler. You can't see Jay, but on my black curtains, so it's got a good backdrop. So a lot of people have Hadi Chupon getting first because he did come in second at Mr. Olympia. So I'll just open the photo, dumbass. So Hadi just impresses the shit out of me every single show he enters in, because he has just that insane, absolutely, like, if there was like a Hall of Fame of conditioning for just bodybuilders in general, he would be in the top 5 for most insane conditioning for his size. I mean, this dude's abs and obliques, when he flexes his midsection, is absolutely insane. And like I said in a couple videos ago, open class is super close right now. Especially in the Olympia area. Everyone, if anyone shows up off a little bit by like 1%, someone's going to win it or someone's going to lose it in that top 5, you know. There's obviously people that I definitely know won't be in top 5, but also I don't know because I'm not like that big of an expert. I just really like bodybuilding and I'm a nerd. How do I get out of the phone? Oh, okay. So Hadi, I really like him. I think, in my own opinion, that him and Derek were really close. I think that he should have won the Olympia. I really love Derek too. He likes spreading the word of Jesus, and so do I. And I love Derek's faith, and I inspire to be like Derek when I talk about Jesus in videos. I got Hadi personally. I don't know. This is what I'm talking about, okay? So this is gonna be kind of like a podcast type of format. So if I'm stuttering or changing my opinion or mind, then whatever. But I got Hadi. I got Hadi second. And I'll tell you why. And Fuad's podcast is where I got all my photos, and Fuad talked about this a little. Hadi is like probably at his peak, and I don't think he can grow any farther. And he's already won the Olympia, and he's kind of an OG now. He's competed against Phil Heath when Phil Heath was close to his end, but he always comes in top 5. And so like, it's just his conditioning and the way he can keep the same look every year is just like, in my opinion, why I think that he'll be second. I think that yeah, that's just what I think. So Hadi second. So I'm gonna go, I guess I'll go down the list. So I changed my mind. I already did my predictions because this is really hard to talk about while doing it. Which, by the way, big respect to Fuad's channel for doing it while he's filming. My third place guy, and I love Nick Walker. I think, let me look at a photo of him again. I think Nick Walker and his shoulders and just his absolute freakiness compared to other people, He is quite literally the biggest guy on stage when it comes to freaky look in mass. He literally is like humongous, and I think that I only got him wrong in the Olympia because he added on too much weight. I think he was too big on stage. I still think he looked insane. I think he should have been 5th, in my opinion, not Brandon Curry at the Olympia. And I think that because he's going off grid and he's filming, and he's not filming and hasn't been filming on YouTube for months, I think he's gonna bring the craziest conditioning. And I think because of that, he'll drop that weight that he had for the Olympia, and I think he'll bring that aesthetic mass monster look that he brought in 2022. And I'm just excited to see Nick on stage because I was a big fan of him before he had that giant hamstring tear, and then he had coaching problems, and he's coaching himself this time. And I also think the coaching problem was also why he didn't place good at the Olympia, and he talked about that a little back and forth, but this time he's coaching himself. And there's a lot of people out there that are like, why do people coach themselves and blah blah blah. Listen, they wouldn't be where they're at if they didn't work on themselves, because they know their bodies, and they have to know, you have to know your own body and your own dieting and your own everything first off before you can get a coach. Because if you don't know anything about your body that you live in every day, your coach isn't. So that's why a lot of bodybuilders can do this without a coach, because they were doing it before they had one. Just like me losing weight, or me formerly being fat. I learned my body on how to lose weight, what I can eat to look good, what I eat on my high carb days. If I'm feeling flat in the morning, I'll have more carbs. If I'm feeling heavier and bloated, then I'll reduce the carbs and have more protein. It's just kind of common sense. These guys are professionals and the best at what they do. So it would make no sense for someone to go, you have to have a coach. You don't have to have one. Like what Sam's doing. He became a pro in 2 shows with just coaching himself and getting tips and stuff from people in the industry. So for my 4th place, and this is really hard for me because my back hurts. This is really hard for me because I kind of like personally connect with Martin Fitzwater. Like I've been following him since 2022 or something, before he was even in the top 5, because he's from where my same state, Wyoming, and like our state's so like empty of people. Like we just have that closeness in Wyoming where I know like 10 people from each town basically. That's how small Wyoming is, you know. Many people can say, oh, I'm from California. I am too. Okay, cool, whatever. But when people are from small states, it's like a stronger connection because it's the few but the proud over here. But anyways, I love Martin. I think he's the next Phil Heath if he gets bigger. He just has that crazy, bubbly, crazy round shape. I don't got photos of him. But he literally like reminds me of like Phil Heath, like that crazy, tight, bubbly look, like 3D, and it's just very like aesthetic but massive look. And I like I said, this is all close. I can see any of these guys winning. But I feel like Nick just has the upper hand right now because they have battled each other at Pittsburgh and I think New York. It's either one of them two. And they were right beside each other. And I think if Nick comes in with the mass he has and the conditioning and he brings down the poundage next to Martin, it's gonna be like a hard battle. And also, I think Martin's a future Mr. Olympia. I think that soon these other top 3 guys, except Andrew Jack, are like eventually going to slow down, and I think Martin's going to be like a 3-time Mr. Olympia or more, just because of him winning Prague. I never would have thought that before Prague, and then once Martin won Prague against Samson and all them other guys, I was like, because they never compared Martin besides Samson on the Olympia. And if they both were in the same lineup, Martin would be all the way down there. I watched the Olympia. And Samson would be in the middle or at the other end. And you wouldn't put them. They hardly compared Martin with the top 3 guys. And I think Martin, like Martin said on his YouTube, I think Martin's now finally proving a point to everyone. If you compare me more to the top 3 guys, I most likely am going to be closer than if you just keep putting me beside the people that are getting 4th, 5th, and 6th, you know? So that's why I got Martin in 4th. But yeah. So for 5th place, I got Brandon Curry. And he, like, I remember him winning, actually, because like I always knew about bodybuilders in the Olympia when I was fat and in high school and young, and I always heard about Phil Heath because he was like the next coming Ronnie Coleman. And like I started in like around 2020, I started watching just content fitness creators, and I heard, like, I forgot who I was watching at the time, but they were talking about how Phil wasn't competing that year and that Brandon Curry won the Mr. Olympia in 2020 or 2021. And Brandon's like a OG veteran. Like, Brandon's been doing this shit. And it's honestly super, super impressive for someone, I think he's in his 40s, to still be in the top 10 for as long as he has after winning the Olympia. It's insane. Like, I don't think people realize how rare, first off, his genetics are for being able to stay that big and stuff like that. For, you know, his age, because many guys are like, Jay Cutler always said the best ages for bodybuilders is in their 30s, and a lot of young guys think the 30s is old. But for him to keep staying in year after year is honestly super impressive. And I have him at 5th. I still think he is an OG veteran that always shows the youngins how to kick ass on stage. And I'm acting like I'm fucking 50, but yeah, I got Brandon at 5th. And also, I love, oh yeah, I got photos of him. I keep not looking at the photos. Also, Brandon's legs at the Olympia were absolutely insane. His quads especially like, that's, I think, why he beat Nick, because Nick just had extra weight on, and he didn't hit his peak week right. And Brandon Curry's legs are just absolutely insane that he brought up this year and last year. So, yeah, that's it about Brandon. This is my first time. So in the future, guys, I have a OBS studio thing where I can screen record, and this will be a lot better setup. But for now, it's just gonna be like this. But for the Olympia, hell yeah, this is gonna be a sick setup, and I'm gonna have guests on and stuff like that. But for so this is where it gets tricky, because I don't know the guys below 5th place. Like, I'm still learning. It's actually embarrassing. I used to be such a huge Classic fan because of Chris Bumstead, and once he retired, like, and then Urs went to Open, I had no idea who anyone was in Classic, and I found myself knowing more Open bodybuilders than Classic bodybuilders, because I'm always used to Terrence Ruffin, I forgot the other guy's name with the afro, Ramon Urs. I was always used to them guys, watching Chris every year. And then when he retired, I'm like, who the hell are these new people coming up? So, yeah, it's like, also, this is the Arnold and not the Olympia, so like many of the top 5 guys don't really do the Arnold, like Chris never did, just focusing on the Olympia, because the Olympia title's such a bigger name. But for my 6th spot, and I actually really like this guy, I like them all. I'm not gay, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I look at any Olympian or pro bodybuilders, all I want to say is I would like to look like that. So, I got for 6th place Rafael Brando. I really like this guy. I discovered him because he was like up and coming. And there's been a lot of hype about him. And I also discovered him from Jay Cutler's podcast, and I listened to that interview while I was working out. But from his updates, which are in Portuguese, I think, I only know a little bit of Spanish. But I think this update was 3 weeks out, or something. And like Fuad and them said, I think that he needs to bring in that more conditioning. That's his only problem, I think. And if he does bring in that conditioning on time, I think he'll lose weight, because I think he'll try to push the conditioning, since it'll be like hard, I guess, for him. But a lot of people had him lower than 6, but I have him at 6 because I think that if he just gets his conditioning down, I think that people will realize how up and coming he'll be. Especially, he reminds me of Andrew Jack, kind of, that long, tall torso. But yeah, I actually just discovered him like a couple weeks ago, and I actually really like some of his videos and workouts. So yeah, so I gotta find this guy, because now it gets tricky where I don't know people. So in 7th place, I have Muhammad Fads, or Mo Fada, something like that. 8 weeks out. Time is, I think this guy has his biceps and like his legs, or just his arms and biceps, remind me a lot of Nick Walker's, just them big crazy like watermelon of arms. And his conditioning looks really good. But again, I don't know some of these guys once it gets below 5th and 6th. But I think I can see him definitely in 7th place. Like, definitely. So, actually, I lied. I know Akeem Williams, too. But I really like him, too. But for 8th, I have Anthony Williams. Is this him? Yeah. Dude, this guy from this photo I'm gonna show, he reminds me of like Flex Wheeler or Dexter. Like that waist and how tight and small it is. I wish that I grew up in the 80s and 90s to see open bodybuilding when everyone still had that tight, big size. Or like that aesthetic big look, you know what I'm saying? But dude, I thought for a second when I saw this guy, I thought he was in Classic because of how classical his waist and like how old school, like Arnold-esque, Chris Bumstead look he has. But then I'm like, he's way too big. He reminds me of that 80s, 90s look. And I actually really like his physique a lot because, I might just be biased, but it's either him and Akeem, which by the way, they both have the same last name. I don't know if they're related. They're both black. But I got him at 8th. I think he would dominate, absolutely dominate in Classic with his shape. Like he has a really good shape, but he's an open. So I think if he was like a little bit bigger, I could see him in the top 6, you know. But yeah, I actually, when I saw this, I thought he was in Classic. I'm not even kidding. But yeah. So in 9th, I have Akeem Williams. And I actually really like Akeem's physique. I just think that, I'm pretty sure, isn't he a short guy? A lot of bodybuilders are. So this is another thing about getting into bodybuilding. Side note, I'm 6'1". I thought because growing up as a kid, I thought because bodybuilders were so muscular and dense, I thought that they would just be naturally tall people because muscle and stuff. And then I realized that they're all like, I don't know, like 5'5" to 5'9". Lee Priest was 5'4". And I never realized that until like 3 or 4 years ago, which is insane to me because like then you got people like Samson, that's 6'1". You got Andrew Jacked, I think that's 6'2" or 3. And I like was kind of disappointed when I found out that answer, because then I'm like, because you hear the rumors, oh, if you're taller, you gotta fill out your frame. I've never had a problem with that, but I started off fat, so my frame was already filled out. But, yeah, I think it's like people cope and use excuses about height stuff. Like shorter people, oh, it's easy for them to gain shit because they're shorter, which, like, I mean, it's kind of true. But I have a friend that's only been training 2 years, that's 5'6", and he's bigger. He's like, not bigger than me, but he's like 168 pounds when he's cut, and then he can get up to 200 pounds lean at 5'6". And he has more definition than me and is like technically bigger. And so it's kind of like you just have to work your ass off, eat more, eat less, depending on your height. Anyways, I got Akeem at 9th. I don't know, man. I seen him at that one Europe show he did, and he was saying he should have got top 5 or something, which I agree. I think there's some politics involved with some different shows. But I'm pretty sure he's a shorter guy. But I don't really got critiques for him because I haven't really seen him a lot. But yeah, he always has crazy conditioning in the upper body. Like, he has veins like everywhere. 10th place, I have, what's his name? Hassan Mustafa. Sorry if I screwed that up. I don't know if I got photos of him. Yeah, I don't got photos of him, but that's just one of them instances where I don't know enough yet. But I'm still learning, so I'm just telling you, subscribe and stay in tuned for Olympia predictions, because that shit's gonna be high quality. I'll be filming on a laptop, I'll be screen recording so you guys can see it at the same time, and I'll have people with me, or one person with me, one of my buddies that's a power lifter and bodybuilder as well, and we're gonna bullshit about the Olympia. He's more on the powerlifting side, so I gotta teach him. Wait, is this a photo of him? Oh, let's go. Never mind, we found a photo of Hassan. I forgot that I took this. Dude, his shape and size with how, like, he's like very blocky and got that like crazy, like, I don't know, wide and blocky look. And he kind of reminds me of Hassan with his obliques and abs, with how wide and blocky he is. But I think that it's hard to tell, but I think him and Akeem and Anthony will be fighting for like the 8th, 9th, 10th spot. But I could for sure see this guy in the future, like, up there. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I'm screwing this up so bad. So, drum roll please. For my first spot, my first place, who's going, and you guys probably already know, I have Andrew Jacked winning the Arnold for Open. And the reason why, and I don't really got good photos of him, he doesn't really do updates. He's kind of one of the mysterious guys that hides the physique. Dude, this guy has like my dream physique. He's like fucking 6'3", 6'4". And honestly, I seen him. He got 3rd at the Olympia. Am I hearing shit? He got 3rd at the Olympia. I think if he just, and it's crazy to say this, and even Jay Cutler's talked about it, he just needs more size because he's so freaking tall. And if he just got that, like, an extra even 5 pounds of muscle, he's winning the Olympia. I can guarantee it. Him and Martin and Nick, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all so close. But I could see him, if he just was a little bigger, beating Hottie for 2nd. Like, this dude's insane. He reminds me of a silverback gorilla, not in a racist way, so let's not even get that started. Okay, dude, this chair sucks. My back hurts. Okay, now for classic. So, this is where it gets tricky because, first off, usually the top 5 Olympians in classic, a lot of guys don't do the Arnold. So that's another thing. So, like, I know Mike Sommerfeld, I know Wesley Visser, I know Sam Zulik, yeah, like, a lot of these guys I just don't know, but a lot of their looks I do like. Okay, had to grab a diet root beer, but so, oh my goodness. But, like, it's just insane how tall and massive this dude is. And I love his attitude. I love that gritty, like, cockiness he had at the Olympia. I watched him live get yelled at because he walked off the line, walked somewhere random, and then the judges yelled, "This isn't a guest posing thing," and he started smirking a little bit. But I love this guy's attitude and confidence, and I honestly think, just like sometimes the giant wins, and I think that he will definitely win this. But I'm super excited for this show. Also, I want to say this. This is now my opinions on who, like, it doesn't matter who I want to win. I really, really want Nick Walker to win this. And I really want Martin to win it too. It's between them two. But, like, I'm an underdog guy, and Martin's kind of been in the top 5 now for a while. And with all the shit Nick's been through, tore hamstring, coaching problems, peak week problems, a bunch of shit going wrong, I feel like I want just Nick to win something big like the Arnold or the Olympia. I really love his, and like, actually, Nick's like one of the first bodybuilders I learned about in high school besides Chris Bumstead. I watched the podcast with him and Flex Lewis, and that shit was like emotional. Like the shit he went through even growing up, I couldn't even imagine like going through that, and then not only going through that, but overcoming it and becoming one of the best in your sport at what you do. So, yeah, that's my opinion. But I also really like Martin. He's a great and nice guy. He went to track. He threw shot put here at UW, University of Wyoming. So he's also like the home boy, you get me? And like every time I DM him on Instagram, he responds. He's such a nice guy. A lot of bodybuilders respond, by the way. It just depends on what you say and how famous they are. I did DM Chris Bumstead on his retirement, but he's so fucking famous, him and Sam Sulik. You're probably not going to get a response. And if it is, I'm guarantee it's some computer AI bullshit. But I love Martin too. Like I said, I started following him before he got in the top 5 at the Olympia. Obviously, there's probably people that followed him before. But the first time I seen him was on TikTok in 2022, and he gave a story about him growing up in Wyoming in a small town, just like how I'm in a small town right now, and that he got a full scholarship to do track, and then from podcasts he's done, he quit college to do bodybuilding. So I like him. I like them all. But yeah. Okay, so Classic's gonna be a lot messier than Open because there's less photos I have of them. But, so, should I do the same thing where I like say first, last? Sure, I will. So second place, one of my favorites ever when I saw him get second to Chris, Mike Sommerfeld. I really like him. I am a huge fan of him. I think that with all the things I've heard from his coach on that podcast and all the things I've been hearing from, yeah, it's just hard to tell between the top 5 with these guys, but I heard he had a bunch of digestive problems, food poisoning, a bunch of stuff like that. I heard it's gone now. But when he did them updates, it feels like he needs more conditioning. And plus, that height weight bullshit going on during the Olympia, that pissed me off. Like, really bad. Because it makes him look bad. It makes his coaches look bad when you're adding inches to your height. And then them people that were measuring people were only stopping at the top of their hair, which adds like an inch or so depending on the haircut. And if you're taller, you can add more weight. And behind all that, that really like pissed me off, because it's like once you stick to something, you already fucked it up, you might as well stick to it. Because then Mike had to drop significant amount of weight, because he realized like they're gonna actually measure now. So I think he came undersized for the Olympia, and that's why Ramon won. I think that he's still coming back, plus all of his health issues. Fuck it, I'm gonna say first place because I gotta talk about him. First place, I have Wesley Vissers, and I really like him. He's like 6'3". He's another mass monster like Andrew Jack. He's literally called the Oak. And I think because he took all this time off from the Arnold and the Olympia, I don't know if he took time off for the Olympia. I've heard from Jay Cutler's podcast, in his off season, he got up to 300 pounds, and he looked absolutely diced. Like, I think, one of these photos, he is 300 pounds and that conditioned. Or no, never mind. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. I heard he got close to 300 pounds though. And I feel like with how tall he is, and how much he's been growing in off seasons, and his game plan he was talking about on Jay Cutler's podcast about how he's very patient and that he thinks more bodybuilders should take time off and take a year off or so to rebound for some shows, and he's already won the Arnold, by the way. I think that he's right. I think more bodybuilders should do this, but if you're already winning, you have to stay in it. I mean, but I think because he's taking that year off or whatever, I think he's gonna look insane. And he's always ripped and comes in conditioned, plus he's big. And I think standing next to Mike, which, by the way, when I think of X-frame, like huge back, huge legs, tiny waist, and just like your whole body looks like an X when you do a front lat spread, I think of Mike Sommerfeld. I can't think of anyone else. He's the perfect height and size to make that literal X with a marker if you drew on him. But yeah, I think Wesley's winning it. Just from his size and conditioning and that time he took off. This is the one thing I don't like about Wesley Vissers' physique, and mostly because it kind of hits home with me. Genetically, his bone structure with his waist, like in this photo, it's just his waist with his lats, it looks really, really weird. And my main concern about Wesley is his legs, because his legs never really brought it, and I think that's why he never got in that top 5 before Chris retired. And I think he's hiding them on purpose because I haven't seen updates of him posting his legs. So if his legs are also growing, then he's gonna win this, I think. But I can also see Mike winning it. It's kind of the same situation with the Open where people are so close to each other, you just don't know what the hell is gonna happen. But yeah, like, I was saying it hits home to me because my genetics are kind of the same. I have a very long, wide waist, or like square waist, and not that sharp thing. So it's like, I understand, and it also just looks very weird, but also insane and cool at the same time. But his freaking arms are insane. Like, I wish I had my Wesley's arms. So yeah, that's who I got. I had to talk about who I had at first to compare them to the other guys. But yeah, so that's cool. So third place, I have Gabriel Sinelli. Sorry if I screwed that up. Oh, is this him? Oh yeah. So this guy right here, dude, this guy reminds me of Chris Bumstead. If this guy gets bigger, which he already is, if he like just gets more maturity and gets like a little bigger, this dude will beat Mike and Wesley and Ramon. I think this dude, like, his physique reminds me of young Chris Bumstead, and he kind of looks like him too facially. But bro, in this photo he's literally with Ramon because he's Brazilian. But this guy right here, if he gets, you know, bigger over time in the years, which that happens because that's what bodybuilding is, he's gonna be a trouble for the Olympia, especially with Niall, the One Punch Man, and especially that other guy with the crazy back. I forgot his name. Yeah, it's no doubt he'll get in the top 5. Like I said, this is gonna be confusing, but I'll bet your ass right now this guy is in the top 5. So for fourth place, I have Andrea Mamamoli. I don't know if I said that right again. Where is he at? Should have just made files with these guys. I don't think I have a photo of him. Oh yeah, I do. Isn't this him? Yeah. Yeah. So this guy, I'm pretty sure he's really young. I think he's like close to my age. So that just like gives me really high confidence in myself with how much I've done with my life. But anyways, I really like him too. When I first saw him, he reminded me of that 19-year-old, the youngest, not Anton. You know who I'm talking about? He's got that curly hair. He's like the biggest pro net 19-year-old besides Anton when he won it. At first I thought that was him. But dude, the video of this photo, in the video, he does this vacuum thing where while he does a vacuum, he flexes his abs inside of it. And I'm like, how the fuck do you even do that? But this guy is like definitely going to be up there for sure. Like, I was gonna say have a name for himself, but he definitely already does. I'm just retarded. So like, whenever I think of classic physique, I think of Arnold, Chris Bumstead, cool. Chris Bumstead and Logan Franklin. If I had to pick a winner, all-time classic, besides Chris, I love Logan Franklin's physique, but Logan has to get bigger. But this guy reminds me of Logan Franklin's physique, just that super pretty, golden age looking, classic physique look, and I'm pretty sure he's like around my age. So I can see him in the future for sure. Like, that's the other thing though. that's why I think that these top 5 Olympians in open and classic and other categories, I think they should do the Arnold regardless, because we don't know, because say these guys make top 5, right? It don't mean shit when you get up to the guys in the top 5 in the Olympia, because comparison is the thing when they stand next to each other. And yeah, like so it's like you might be top 5 in this, but because the bigger dogs in the Olympia aren't doing the Arnold, and then you go to the Olympia, you don't even know if you'll get top 10, because a lot of these bigger top 10 guys in the Olympia won't do the Arnold. You get me? So, but also the Arnold is famous for making smaller names and bigger guys come up in the world, because the Olympia guys don't do the Arnold. Like, imagine if Chris did the Arnold. Like, we would never, or at least Wesley was always famous, but I probably would never hear about Wesley. He would probably still be in the top 3, but you know, I heard of Wesley through winning when he won the Arnold. So for 5th place, I got Matthews Menegade. This guy, it's between him and Andrea. But this guy has like more thick, hard density, I think, in my opinion, than that Andrea guy. So I can see them two fighting for top 5 as well. But this guy's like hardness is absolutely crazy. Like, and dude, look at these freaking legs. Like, you got the quads, and then underneath you can see his hamstrings like touching each other. So it's kind of crazy. But his muscle density and his size by Andrea, that's just gonna be the key thing, because you never know until they're beside each other, you get me? So another guy that I think will fight for top 5 with Andrea and Matthews is Kim Angel, Camps Angel, Jay Quinn, I don't know, he's got 3 names. But dude, this guy's freaking legs and like shit like that is crazy. Like, I don't know if there's another photo of him. No, that's not him. His legs are insane, dude. And I think just like what Fuad and them were saying, and Paul, is I think he just needs to get his back up. But he trained with Niall, and his back compared to Niall was like actually really closer than I thought. So like, yeah, I could see him fighting too. So for 7th, I got Ethan Gerhal. I can also use Google. I forgot. I don't got a photo of him in my camera roll, but this guy, also really, I am probably going to screw this placing up. I have him very high, but I honestly did not know who he was. But he kind of has the same like physique or size as Vahid, George Herrera, and Sam. So like, again, these guys could be fighting for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. But this guy, if he just had like more size, I think this is a better photo of him. Dude, his shoulder to waist ratio is really crazy. Him and Canoe, they really kind of have like almost the same physique, if you get what I'm saying. Just like need more size, like Sam needs more size, like just that, you know what I'm trying to get at. So now there is, for 8th place, Vahid Badpel. I really like this guy's physique too. He reminds me of like Mike Sommerfeld, if that makes sense. Probably not, because there's probably people watching like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. There's probably guys that are very experienced in bodybuilding watching me like, this kid's retarded. I get it. But I got him in 8th. I could see him being way higher. He does remind me of kind of Mike Sommerfeld's with his back to waist and legs. But yeah, sick. So George Herrera, I got him 9th. I just think he needs more size and definition. I really like his physique too. Yeah, I just think he's gotta grow some more. So, but for 10th place, I have Sam Sulek. And hear me out on this, and I think he'll be higher, okay? I put him at 10th for a safe spot because this is his pro debut, and I think his weakness is going to be his posing, but watching his videos, he keeps talking about how he wants to have a crazy routine with music and he wants that to be cool, even though it doesn't win you the show. He just wants that. So I think that he's secretly been practicing really hard on his posing. But then again, Sam just needs more size. He's not going to be in the top 5 with Wesley Vissers, Mike Sommerfeld, Gabriel, Andrea Matthews. I don't think he'll be anywhere up there. Guys, this is his first ever pro show, okay? There's many people out there that just don't know bodybuilding at all, thinking that he's instantly going to be in the top 10 or top 5 or whatever just because he has a big following and because he looks insane does not mean. A lot of bodybuilders look insane, okay? They might look crazy. You might look the best ever in your area or your town. But until you step on stage at 5% body fat next to guys that have been doing this 10 years more than you, and guys that have been placing in the top 5 for years, then that's another story. Because I think there's a lot of younger kids that follow Sam, and I've been following Sam since he had 500,000 subscribers when he still had acne everywhere. I think Sam's strong suit is going to be his conditioning, if I'm being honest. I think he's doing it too much. He should have held off on the breaks like a month out, because his recent updates, 2 hours of cardio a day and 2,500 calories plus you're working out an hour a day. That's a lot of calories being burned for a week out, I think it was. Or not a week out, but like 2 or 3 weeks out. I think that he should have like just calmed down a bit. Because if you get too conditioned and you get too much cardio, you're gonna just start losing muscle mass. And that's where I think Sam needs a coach. Someone to tell him, you need to calm down a little bit. Because yes, he looks insane. I bet once he does a carb up after his peak week, he's gonna look great and perfect. I'm just saying that he should probably slow down on the cardio a little bit with how many calories he's having. But yeah, like at the end of the day and at the end of this video, I'm just a former fat guy that loves bodybuilding and fitness. And yeah, but so this canoe guy, I actually really like his shape. I just think it's the same with Sam. You gotta get bigger. I can see this guy placing higher than Sam actually, and I'm guarantee he will, just because him and Sam are around the same like size. I think Sam has him on the back a little bit, but this guy has a really good shape. I think he just needs to get bigger too, and I think he's around the same age Sam is. But yeah, like, I love Sam Sulek, but this is also his pro debut, his rookie year, so it's like, you get me. Meanwhile, I don't even have a rookie year, because I've never even competed yet. I just really like bodybuilding. So that's it. Guys, this isn't that serious. I'm just a big fan of bodybuilders and bodybuilding. So yeah, you know, I could be 100% wrong about all these placements like I was for the Olympia. That was really cool when I did that. But I'm going to keep these predictions so that when the Arnold happens, we'll see how close I am. And then we'll do a video afterwards. But that's it. Jesus loves you guys. And I am going to relax and have a Guinness and watch Dragon Ball Z. Or Dragon Ball. I'm watching the first episode. But yeah, give your comments below. Actually, comment down below what your predictions are. I want to see your top 5 for Open and Classic or other. This is just like a bodybuilding nerd thing, you get me? So I want to see in your comments, if you know bodybuilding, if you know ball, who you think's going to win. But yeah, I know that I probably did this too far out, but whatever. Love you guys. Jesus loves you. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.